The Alien Who Learned English, Part 1. Crash Landing and a Strange Encounter. The night was alive with the chirping of crickets and the distant hum of highway traffic. A group of college students, Sarah, the bubbly leader, Ben, the tech whiz, Emily, the literature enthusiast, and David, the quiet observer, were camped out in a secluded clearing, telescopes pointed towards the star-dusted canvas of the night sky. They were on a meteor shower watch, hoping to catch a glimpse of nature's celestial fireworks. Suddenly, a blinding streak of light tore across the darkness, followed by a thunderous boom that shook the ground beneath them. Fear turned to curiosity as they scrambled to their feet, flashlights cutting through the inky blackness in the direction of the impact. They stumbled upon a scene straight out of a science fiction movie. A small metallic craft lay embedded in the earth, its hull smoking and sparking. As they cautiously approached, a hatch hissed open, revealing a figure unlike anything they had ever seen. It was humanoid in shape, but its skin was a deep shade of violet, its large black eyes blinked slowly, and its slender fingers twitched nervously. The creature seemed disoriented and afraid, emitting a series of clicking sounds that sounded more like machinery than language. Ben, ever the pragmatist, was the first to approach. He held up his hands in a gesture of peace, hoping to convey non-threatening intentions. The creature tilted its head, its eyes fixated on Ben's phone, which he still held in his other hand. It pointed a long, delicate finger towards the screen. Ben, confused, showed the creature the astronomy app he had been using. The alien's eyes widened, and it emitted a series of rapid clicks, then pointed at the screen again. Suddenly, Sarah gasped. "It's trying to communicate. Look!" She pointed at a notification that had popped up on Ben's phone. It was from a language learning app Ben had downloaded but never used. Learn English. Speak. Translate. The app had somehow activated, and a message in broken English appeared on the screen. "Hello. Need help." A wave of realization washed over the group. The alien was using the app to communicate. Emily, a language fanatic, was ecstatic. "This is incredible. We can actually talk to it." They quickly discovered that the app was translating the alien's clicks into English text. It was slow and rudimentary, but it was communication nonetheless. They spent the next few hours huddled around the phone, painstakingly typing out simple English phrases and showing them to the alien. They started with the basics. "Hello? My name is..." "How are you?" The alien, whom they decided to call Xylo after the clicking sound it made, was a quick learner. It repeated the phrases back to them, its voice a strange, high-pitched warble, as the app translated its spoken words into English text. As the first rays of dawn painted the sky, Xylo had managed to learn a handful of basic English words and phrases. The students were exhausted, but exhilarated. They had stumbled upon an extraordinary encounter, a chance to bridge the gap between worlds through the power of language. They knew the journey ahead would be long and challenging, but they were determined to teach Xylo English, to help it communicate, and to understand the strange creature that had fallen from the stars. The Alien Who Learned English, Part 2. Idioms, Slang, and the Curious Case of Human Behavior. Days turned into weeks, and Xylo's English improved dramatically. The Learn English app proved to be a valuable tool, but the students realized that teaching a language went beyond vocabulary and grammar. Xylo was starting to form sentences, but often misused idioms and struggled with cultural references, leading to hilarious and sometimes confusing situations. One sunny afternoon, while explaining the concept of raining cats and dogs, Emily looked out the window at the pouring rain and exclaimed, It's really coming down cats and dogs today. Xilo's eyes widened in alarm. It looked around frantically, searching for falling felines and canines. The students burst into laughter, explaining the figurative nature of the idiom. Xylo, though initially confused, seemed to find the human language's quirkiness amusing. Ben, a movie buff, decided to introduce Xylo to the world of television. They started with sitcoms, hoping the light-hearted humor would be a good learning tool. However, Xylo found the laugh tracks perplexing and the characters' motivations baffling. "Why is the tall one with the yellow hair always shouting?" Xylo asked, referring to a particularly boisterous sitcom character. "And why is the short one always hiding in the cupboard?" The student struggled to explain the nuances of comedic timing and character tropes. They moved on to news broadcasts, hoping for a more straightforward approach, but Xylo was equally perplexed by human behavior displayed on screen. "Why are these humans arguing about lines on a map?" it asked during a segment on international borders. "And why do they collect shiny discs?" referring to a story about economic inflation. The students realized that teaching Xylo English also meant teaching it about the complexities of human culture and history. They decided to incorporate more real-world experiences into Xylo's lessons. They took it to the local market, where it was fascinated by the vibrant colors, the cacophony of sounds, and the sheer variety of goods on display. They explained the concept of currency, which Xylo found illogical. "Why trade for food when you can simply grow it?" it questioned. The concept of a monetary system was a difficult one for Xylo to grasp. They then visited a museum, where Xylo was captivated by ancient artifacts and historical narratives. It was particularly intrigued by the concept of art. "Why do humans make things that have no practical purpose?" it wondered, gazing at a centuries-old painting. The students tried to explain the human need for self-expression and the appreciation of beauty, concepts that seemed alien to Xylo. As Xylo's grasp of the English language grew, so did its understanding of the human world. It was a slow and gradual process, filled with laughter, confusion, and moments of profound insight. The students realized that teaching Xylo was not just about imparting knowledge. It was about fostering a connection, building a bridge between two vastly different cultures. They were not just teachers. They were becoming friends, guides in a strange and fascinating world. And Xylo, with its insatiable curiosity and unwavering determination, was proving to be a remarkable student. The Alien Who Learned English. Part 3. Tongue Twisters, Real-Time Conversations, and Finding a Voice. Xylo's progress continued at an astonishing pace. It had mastered basic grammar and could construct complex sentences with relative ease. However, one significant hurdle remained: pronunciation. Xylo's vocal cords were not designed for the intricacies of human speech, resulting in a peculiar accent and a tendency to mispronounce certain sounds. Emily, with her background in linguistics, took it upon herself to help Xylo improve its pronunciation. She introduced it to the world of tongue twisters. She sells seashells by the seashore. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, and the infamous sixth sick shakes sixth sheep sick. Xylo found these exercises both challenging and amusing. Its attempts to rapidly repeat the phrases often resulted in a jumbled mess of syllables and clicks, causing the students to erupt in laughter. But Xylo was persistent, practicing tirelessly until it could pronounce each phrase with near perfect clarity. They also started engaging in real-time conversations, encouraging Xylo to express its thoughts and opinions. At first, Xilo's speech was slow and hesitant, but gradually it gained confidence. It started asking questions about human society, customs, and beliefs. It was particularly fascinated by the concept of emotions. What is this love that humans speak of? It asked one evening. And why does it make them do such illogical things? The students tried to explain the complex nature of human emotions, the joys and sorrows, the triumphs and heartbreaks that define the human experience. Xylo was a keen observer, absorbing information like a sponge. It began to understand the subtle nuances of human communication, the tone of voice, facial expressions, and body language that conveyed meaning beyond words. It started mimicking these cues, adding a layer of expressiveness to its own communication. One day, while watching a nature documentary, Xylo became visibly upset by a scene depicting a predator hunting its prey. "Why does the strong one hurt the weak one?" it asked, its voice filled with genuine concern. Is this what it means to be human? The students were taken aback by Xylo's emotional response. They explained the concept of the food chain, the natural order of survival in the animal kingdom. But Xylo remained unconvinced. There must be a better way, it insisted, a way to live without causing harm. This incident marked a turning point in Xylo's journey. It began to form its own opinions, to question the accepted norms of human behavior. It challenged the students to think critically about their own actions and the impact they had on the world around them. Xylo's unique perspective, unburdened by human biases and preconceptions, forced them to confront uncomfortable truths about their own society. As Xylo's understanding of English deepened, so did its ability to articulate its thoughts and feelings. It was no longer simply repeating phrases or mimicking human behavior. It was developing its own voice, a unique blend of alien intellect and human empathy. It was becoming a bridge between two worlds, a testament to the power of communication and the transformative potential of language. The students realized that they were not just teaching Xylo English, they were learning from it, expanding their own understanding of what it meant to be human and what it could mean to be something more. The Alien Who Learned English. Part 4, The Language Barrier. Revisited and Lessons in Cultural Context. Xylo's remarkable progress in learning English inspired the students to try and learn its language, and in return, they hoped that understanding Xylo's native tongue would further bridge the communication gap and deepen their connection. Xylo was eager to teach them, patiently trying to explain the intricate system of clicks, whistles, and guttural sounds that formed its language. However, the students found it incredibly challenging. Their human vocal cords struggled to produce the alien sounds, and the complex grammatical structure seemed impossible to grasp. Despite Xylo's enthusiastic demonstrations and detailed explanations, the students' progress was slow and frustrating. They realized that the language barrier was not simply a matter of vocabulary and grammar. It was deeply intertwined with cultural context and a fundamentally different way of perceiving the world. Xylo's language was heavily reliant on sensory input. Smells, textures, and even subtle changes in air pressure played a crucial role in conveying meaning. For example, a specific combination of clicks and whistles could describe the texture of a rock with astonishing detail, conveying information about its density, temperature, and even its geological history. But for the students, who relied primarily on sight and sound, these nuances were lost in translation. They also discovered that Xylo's language lacked many concepts that were fundamental to human communication, such as abstract ideas like love or justice. Instead, it focused on describing the physical world with meticulous accuracy and conveying practical information about survival and resource management. This realization highlighted the profound influence that culture and environment have on language development. So, despite the challenges, the students refused to give up. They understood that learning Xylo's language was not just about acquiring a new skill. It was about demonstrating respect for its culture and a willingness to meet it halfway. They spent hours practicing the alien sounds, using recordings and visual aids to help them understand the intricate patterns of Xylo's speech. To further bridge the cultural gap, they planned a series of field trips designed to immerse Xylo in the human world and provide it with a deeper understanding of human customs and traditions. They took it to a baseball game, where it was fascinated by the complex rules and the passionate cheering of the fans. They attended a concert where Xylo was mesmerized by the power of music and the emotional connection it created between the performers and the audience. They even took it to a church service where Xylo observed the rituals and listened intently to the sermon, trying to grasp the concept of faith and spirituality. These experiences, though sometimes confusing and overwhelming for Xylo, proved invaluable in expanding its understanding of human culture. It began to see the connections between language, behavior, and the shared experiences that shaped human societies. It realized that language was not just a tool for communication, it was a window into a culture's soul, a reflection of its values, beliefs, and aspirations. As Xylo delved deeper into the human world, the students delved deeper into its. They discovered that despite the vast differences in language and culture, there were fundamental similarities that connected them. They both shared a curiosity about the universe, a desire to understand their place in it, and a capacity for empathy and compassion. These shared values transcended the barriers of language and culture, forming a bond of friendship that grew stronger with each passing day. The Alien Who Learned English, Part 5. Farewell, my friend. A journey's end and a lasting legacy. Months had passed since Xylo's crash landing. The once confused and isolated alien had transformed into a confident and articulate communicator, capable of navigating the complexities of the English language and the human world. But the time had come for Xylo to return home. With the help of the students, Xylo had managed to repair its damaged spacecraft and send a distress signal to its home planet. The news of Xylo's impending departure was met with mixed emotions. The students were overjoyed that Xylo would finally be reunited with its kind, but they were also deeply saddened by the prospect of saying goodbye to their extraordinary friend. They had grown incredibly close to Xylo, sharing laughter, knowledge, and experiences that had changed their lives forever. In the days leading up to Xylo's departure, the students worked tirelessly to prepare it for the journey home. They helped it gather supplies, pack its belongings, and program the coordinates for its home planet into the spacecraft's navigation system. They also made sure to equip Xylo with a comprehensive collection of human artifacts, books, music, photographs, and even a few favorite movies to help it remember its time on Earth. On the night of Xylo's departure, the students gathered at the clearing where they had first encountered the alien spacecraft. They watched as Xylo, clad in a specially designed spacesuit, climbed into the repaired craft. Xylo turned to face them, its large black eyes filled with a mixture of gratitude and sadness. "Thank you, my friends," Xylo said, its voice now clear and resonant, devoid of its initial alien accent. "You have taught me so much about your language, your culture, and your world. I will never forget your kindness and your friendship." The students, tears streaming down their faces, bid farewell to their alien friend. They watched as the spacecraft lifted off, its engines roaring, a bright light piercing the darkness as it soared toward the stars. As the light faded into the vast expanse of the night sky, a profound silence fell over the clearing. The students stood there for a long time, lost in their thoughts and memories. They had witnessed something truly extraordinary, a testament to the power of communication, the resilience of the human spirit, and the boundless potential of friendship that transcended the boundaries of language and culture. Xilo's time on Earth had left an indelible mark on their lives. They had learned to see the world through different eyes, to appreciate the beauty of diversity, and to embrace the unknown with curiosity and compassion. They had also learned a valuable lesson about the importance of language, not just as a tool for communication, but as a bridge between cultures, a means of fostering understanding and building lasting connections. As they walked back to their campsite, they stumbled upon a small leather-bound notebook that Xilo had left behind. It was filled with Xilo's handwritten notes, English idioms, slang phrases, and observations about human behavior. On the last page, Xilo had written a simple message: "Farewell, my friends. May your journeys be filled with joy, discovery, and the enduring power of language." The students smiled, their hearts filled with a bittersweet mixture of sadness and hope. They knew that Xilo's journey had just begun, and they were excited to see what the future held for their extraordinary alien friend. They also knew that Xilo's legacy would live on, inspiring them to continue exploring the world, learning new languages, and building bridges of understanding with all those they encountered, regardless of their background or origin. For they had learned that language, like friendship, had the power to connect us all, to transcend our differences, and to create a more compassionate and interconnected world.